We're ready to roll in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? It's the NBA SA show. The NBA season is almost done. Can you believe it? Game 4 has happened. The Denver Nuggets are leading 3-1. And I still believe that Miami can do it. Welcome to the NBA SA show. That's my brother Tim right there. His name is Tim Maltino, superstar head coach. My other brother is Kirk Daniels, in case you don't know him. He's the shooting guard of all shooting guards. Also, he is actually LeBron, because ain't nobody play longer than this brother. His hatred LeBron is because he is LeBron. Gentlemen, to me, I'm going to start with you. You called it quite early that Denver is going to give whoever played in the Eastern Conference Final a snot clap in the finals. It's 3-1. They are going back home for Game 5. Did you call it, or can I still be right? Give me your thoughts.
Yo, wait, you're going to have to do that again because I wasn't recording.
No way, Spell. I see the record side. Fool me once. Shame on.
You were strong, You should ask next time.
Yeah, that's a good point. You should ask, actually.
Yeah. I'm not Liam. So, with good question. Like, I think the fact that Kirk, yourself, myself are all wearing Miami tops tonight means absolutely fuck all. Because the Nuggets, they're 100% going to win. They're probably going to win tonight. If not, then they'll probably win in Miami, and if not, they'll still win the Game 7. It doesn't matter. They are going to win. They're going to need a lot of Scott Foster, right, and Pat Riley, Juju, right, to get in the mix for Miami to even win one more game. So,
you think so? Kirk, you agree? You don't even reckon Miami will win?
Look, I hope they win, because then we get to watch more basketball, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I'm full on Heat Nation right now, because like give us another game after this one. But like the fairy tale storyteller in me would like Denver to win at home, to seal it at home. That'll be for their first one. It's quite to win it in front of your fans, can have a party. So for that to happen, let's hope there's a Game 7.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if Miami, through some miracle, managed to pull off a dub tonight, Denver's going to win it in Miami for sure. Just the way Denver closed out Game 3. What was Game 3? Yeah, Game 3 with Joker in foul trouble and having to sit a big chunk of the fourth quarter. Like, throughout the playoffs, the story was, how do they manage the non-Joker minutes? How do they manage the non-Joker minutes? And they showed us the rest of the team can actually play. And with Murray doing a good job facilitating and getting people involved and finding people their shots, they just look comfortable. They look comfortable with Joker on the bench in the fourth quarter in the NBA Finals. So after that, I was like, I don't see the Zones losing another game.
Tell me, let's get into the technical aspect. Let's just focus on this series. Why has Denver dominated Miami?
So look, I think all the things that we said at the beginning of the series have held true to the end, and maybe there's one additional learning point that we didn't lean into as much as we should have, and I'm gonna shout that one out. But look, at the beginning we said Miami is small and Denver are huge.
Yeah.
Right. And that is shown in all aspects. Because Denver has been so big, right? It meant that Spo had to do all sorts of tricks calling Kevin Love off the bench, making him start. And as much as you do that to stop an Aaron Gordon domination from being so big, you then give up a whole variety of other stuff along the way. It throws your team out of sync, etc. So one, Denver was massive. Two, Denver just has an unbelievable offense, right? Mostly through Jokic and or through Murray or the two-man game, and lots of guys were simply playing well. They shoot the ball just fine. I do believe that being in Denver did make a difference, absolutely, right? But the one thing I want to shout out before anything else, right, is I think Mike Malone has shown his ability as a coach, right? And that's on two fronts. He has gotten his team, one, mentally prepared. So unlike Boston, right? Because Boston's just as talented. Boston can go big, Boston can go small, Boston can shoot, Boston can play on the perimeter, Boston can do all the same things that Denver could do. It's just that they weren't the focused team. And at big moments, they didn't look like they had a freaking plan, right? Whereas fundamentally, Denver always looked like they had a plan. Even when Miami came to the finals, right, and they chucked that zone out, the second they chucked that zone out, Denver went into a couple of sets. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in all moments. In the second game, Miami changed their zone. So they would run like a 2-3 sort of thing, or like a 1-2-2. Then all of a sudden they ran a 1-3-1. And the second they changed it, right, Denver adjusted. In the moment, they had come prepared, yeah, for all aspects. And I think, I don't think that many of us necessarily said that. We said that Spo was going to outcoach him, right? And that Spo was the advantage. And I think Spo probably was an advantage. But the reality is that Mike Malone had them so well prepared for all the eventualities. They had one slip in that one game. Then they all went to dinner at Jeff Green's house. And then that slip was fine again. I think that they were just too big, too talented, too prepared. Miami didn't really have a choice, have a chance, right?
KD, so besides Denver doing all of these things that we are saying they did right, for the Heat to stand a chance, what do you believe they have to do? I mean, we understand that it's difficult, but they've won one. They've won in Denver. So it's not like they can't win. What do Miami have to do to get this Game 5 win?
Just before we move away from Denver, I just wanted to say the diversity of the offense is so impressive to see. Because it was in Game 2, they ran the high pick and roll, and they slayed Miami with that high pick and roll. I mean, I think that was the game where they scored the 2 30-point triple doubles in the same game, and they were just unstoppable. Then in the next game, everybody was like, okay, they're gonna run the high pick and roll again. They didn't go to that once. They put Joker in the low block. They let him play off the ball. They let him carry the ball. They had so many different looks and different sets. It was really like Timmy said, Michael Malone just did a fantastic job of mixing it up and keeping it fresh. You see, I said Michael and not Mike.
I'm chomis with him, man. I'm chomis. He's Mikey to me.
But just in terms of Miami, it's no small thing that Tyler Hero is injured. I mean, he's 20 points a game. Not that it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but it matters. It makes their job easier if he's there. As we said from the beginning of when Miami became the focal point of all of our conversations, is that Jimmy needs to be Jimmy in order for him to do well. He can't disappear. He can't take possessions off. He can't go quiet for 2-3 minute spells. Then they're just going to get pile drived. So he needs to be Jimmy for 48 minutes for them to stand a chance, and that's the bottom line. And then Bam needs to back him up. Bam needs to feed off of him, and the shooters need to make shots. And if none of those three things happen, we're gonna burn some t-shirts.
and they need to do what they did to Boston and get the Joker to twist his ankle in the first quarter, and then Jamal Murray must also twist his ankle in that quarter, and then maybe they'll win.
So no chance.
we hope there's a chance. Man. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
There's always a Jimmy could go for 50 and just be fantastic, and those Oaks can make all their shots. Like, but the problem is, we spoke about it previously, in Game 7. We said the fear of failure is greater than the desire to do well. The shoes on the other foot now. For them to have a chance, everybody needs to believe. As pointless if Jimmy comes and he says, "Yeah, we're gonna win," and he's the only one that believes. If there's doubt in the other three Owens, they're gonna miss their shots and you're gonna lose. So it's it's harder to rally a team to make them believe than sort of to be in a position of control and just close it out.
Also,
So I love that you said that, because that's the one thing I think Miami have, is that belief. They might not have the size and they might not have the talent that Denver have, but the one narrative that's been clear with Miami is that they believe more than the rest of us sitting here, judging them. So it's that type of belief that actually makes me feel like they are the type of team that can win Game 5, despite, you know, which makes me excited about Game 5, to me.
I think that belief in the previous series has come from the fact that they were up in every series.
Yeah.
It's easy to believe when you're up. But you just got snot clubbed for 3 games.
Yeah.
Then belief and
Confidence is a
delusion.
frail
Fine.
thing, oh boy. Yeah. Confidence is one bad shot away from just disappearing. That shot that you know is going in and goes. You're like, what's
Yeah,
supposed to go in? Then it's like, oh yeah, what's happening next? Next one. Always.
And that Denver team, when you talk about confidence, a lot of that confidence in my mind in a game talks about momentum, right?
Mm.
And that Denver team is starting to get that feel of those Warrior teams of the last decade, where all of a sudden, like, you can be up 10 points and you're still not going to sit comfy if you're an opposing fan, for example, right? And Murray just needs to hit 1 or 2 shots. Porter just needs to hit 1 or 2 shots, right? That Denver team can go on a 28-2 run at any stage, right? And I suppose that's a big and intimidating thing. That momentum, the inertia, the confidence, not only your confidence, but the confidence that other team is going to start coming.
Yeah. You saw it quite clearly. I'm almost certain it was Game 4. I think Denver were leading by 13 points going into the 4th. Miami comes out and scores quick 8 buckets. I think Jimmy scored all 8 points. Call the timeout, and you think, well, I'm thinking, here we go. Come on, here we go. And it felt like that every game Denver come back, and then Murray, out of the timeout, hit a monster 3 that just sucked the life out of that entire stadium. And it's such a important thing to be able to hit that shot. You know, you up 13, they go on an 8-0 run. The crowd is losing their mind. It's the 4th quarter. Like, to make that shot, that's a big shot, and it sucks just everything out of the game. And Denver have 2 guys that can do that, which is scary. Yeah.
That was one noticeable thing about how Denver stifles those runs. It's like Miami works so hard to free up a shooter, and they make a shot, and it's like, yeah. And then the next possession, they come down 1 pass, Joker makes a 3. It's like, yeah, I can bomb 3s also. So stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? They clearly made a decision to sag off Joker. They were like, we don't care how well you're gonna pass, we're gonna sag off you now. We're gonna make you score. We're gonna make you shoot from the outside. Then he took like 3 steps back. He was like, okay, cool, stand on the free throw line. I'm gonna stand on the logo.
That's scary.
Just an observation. I find them to be more like the old Spurs teams, where you watch the old Spurs teams, and like the team that they play against is playing warm. They full of energy, and they're scoring and they're scoring and they're scoring, and you look at the score, Spurs are only down 3. Like, how did that happen? The opposition is up 15, the opposition is up 20. 3 minutes later, you're like, yo, Spurs are like only down 4 points. Where did they close this gap? Is like you don't notice how they do it, but they just chip away. They're consistent. They make consistent shots. They make that layup that's gonna count, and they just keep ticking the score over. And you don't notice that they're just behind you. They're not out of this game yet.
And it's so tough to play against teams that are like that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's never a kill shot. There's never a kill shot.
Well, it must be so demotivating, bruh. It must be so demotivating.
Yeah.
Even if the lead after you give your best shot, and then like the Joker take the lead of 2 free throws, and you're like, yeah, that's nice.
How's the score even? How is the score even? Caleb, did you just not just hit the 3 now? Listen, and then final thoughts, fellas. So, I mean, both of you believe it's going to be over tonight. I really believe that Miami are going to do it. They're that type of team to shock everybody. So I won't be surprised if Miami do it.
Peter.
I'll put Peter down. I'll put Peter down.
Case.
Wanna go?
Yeah.
You think they're going to do it?
A trade.
No.
No. He plays for Atlanta. Leave Atlanta alone. Trey is not here. Steeds van die bestes.
Peter.
I should win 12 beers, and you should win 6 beers if Miami win.
Okay, that's I'll do that. I'll put 2 6-packs on the line, and you can. We all put 2 6-packs on the line, and yours split between the 2 of us, and you get all 4 if you win.
That's fair. Hashtag 3% chance.
It's neither fair nor 3%, but it's fine. I'll take it.
We're gonna save it out together anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Listen, final thoughts. Where do both of you have coached teams, right? The series started with 2 very experienced coaches. Let's forget all of the other players and the entire storyline that we understand. What did Mike Malone get right? Let's take players out of the equation. What did Mike Malone get right? I just want to touch on coaching here specifically because we've had massive conversations about the role coaches play. And, the argument we've been having. So now I want to talk, just to close the show, is coach v. coach. Right? The one is up 3-1. What did Michael Malone do right in the series to get his team 1 win away from a championship? Timmy.
So the first thing that they did right, it's going to sound strange, is that month where they took off that everybody gave them doubts. Whatever they did there, in resting, in dropping their intensity, in funny enough has come back and it's been right. Because for the last 2 years, remember in the bubble they were hot. And then for 2 years they've been injured. Either Porter or Murray or Porter and Murray. Right? And Joker was playing with you, me, and Kirk. Right? And still making it through a series. Right? And so I think the first thing is they clearly manage their players to be ready now. Yeah, that's the first thing. Then the second thing, as much as we're talking about heat culture, that Denver bench clearly has a great culture. They got senior players in, right? Like your Jeff Greens, like your DeAndre Jordans, right? Who never play, but they are up all the time. They are talking all the time. They are experienced heads that have come through, right? That meant that Mike Malone can have his bench go all the way down to 6 or 7. Right, they went to 6 last series, right, and 7 in the series sort of thing, and without anybody whining. Yeah, it's also meant that he got the very. Aaron Gordon was he was the highest pick maybe of all of them, right? He was in Orlando. He was the focal point of an offense, right? They got him as a 3-and-D guy. Yeah, Porter Jr. was gonna go top 3 in the draft until he had a back issue, right? He thought that he was gonna be a franchise player. They've got him as a defensive stopper, again, like a 3 and D guy. And so they got their role definition right. Yeah. And that's really important because actually a season or two ago, they didn't necessarily have that. Yeah. And all of those things all just create the fertile ground too. When you come to the series, you can then be prepared. Because then everybody is prepared to do their particular role in the way and they are ready for it. He didn't have to call the time. When I said that they ran different sets, right, against Miami switching zone. So Miami played 2 different zones, right, without a dead ball, right? And with that, they recognized it, so they saw it coming, and they ran different sets. That is chess match, right? That is being prepared. That's making sure that your team is prepared, that they can recognize it in the moment, that the moment isn't too big, and they all do it at the same time. That is an orchestra, like you are a conductor at that stage, and that's not in the game. That's the last 4 years running up to it. Yeah, that does prepare you for that moment. That's why. Sorry, one last point. That's why I think some of the critique around the Boston coach Mazzulla is rough. He had no time to do it. No time to prepare. These guys have all been with their teams for years to prepare for these moments. Anyway,
Teddy, what did he do right, bro?
I got fuck all else. He said everything.
sorry.
No, but just I think the way he keeps them focused on the end result, not letting complacency creep in, keeping them focused and keeping them. I mean, for that to happen, you need to be quite driven yourself, and you need to be sort of singular in your thought processes. He's doing that well. just because I have thoughts and opinions.
You're amused. I've got more opinions.
But it's like Timmy said, the culture, and I mean that comes from the top down. It's been instilled, it's been developed, it's been grown over the last 4-5 years, and it helps that your best players echo that sentiment, and they don't just, it's not just lip service. You can see it. They play that way, and they play for each other that way, and it rubs off on everybody else. So it's not just getting their buy-in, is actually them believing and sort of living those values, which is, yeah, you're on a winning wicket if you got that right.
Yeah. Timmy, you want to add?
Yeah, one last thing that Mike Malone got right in not only this series but the whole playoffs, right? His attitude in all the press conferences.
Love.
Nice. Did you see the Miami one? Like when he started, he was like, "This is a terrible press room, huh?" He was like, "Let me just say, this is a terrible press." I was like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
We've all heard of Mod. He is Dodd.
But tell me, what were you saying about the press conferences, bro?
No. I think so. One has been entertaining, right? But also, I don't think that he does anything unintentionally, right? I think a lot of the comments and stuff that he makes, and he going out, he's as much taking attention away from his team, but also giving his team lots of messages. So for example, right, him going out there and going, "Hey, why are you talking about the Lakers?" Right? Yeah. It naturally gives his own team a chip on the shoulder. Hey, our own's talking about the Lakers. Nobody might have been talking about the Lakers, but he's gonna go out there, right? Yeah. And he's gonna say it, right? And I heard some other commentary in the week leading up the week after they lost in the game, and people were saying all the players came out and they were like, "Yeah, we're not as focused, etc., etc." But that's because he spoke to them right before they all went out the press conference. He was like, "These are the issues." And then they all heard it, and they all went out the press conference and they said, "Yeah, these are the issues." And it was like a hymn sheet. Yeah. Because also, sometimes when people say, "Why did they get rid of the coach? The coach was good. The coach shouldn't be blamed." right? And then you hear, well, actually the coaches lost their voice in the room.
Hmm.
His voice is clearly the strongest voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.